welcome to our 10th and third last local elections debate. My name is William Voko, and this evening we're coming to you live from the University of Stellenbosch. This debate series, of course, brought to you by the SABC in partnership with the University of Johannesburg. You can follow this debate on SAFM and on sabcnews.com. Our topic tonight is the perceived difference in service delivery levels in affluent and poor areas in the Western Cape. And to debate the issue, we welcome on stage the Cape Town mayoral candidates of 4 political parties. The ruling party, the African National Congress, nationwide, is being led here, represented here by Tony Ehrenreich. And the ruling party in the Western Cape, and of course in the city of Cape Town, the mayoral candidate for the Democratic Alliance is Ms. Patricia de Lille. COPE, of course, is pinning its hopes on Mr. J.C. Grey-No. And the ACDP's mayoral candidate is Mr. Fallon Christian. And of course, last but not least, our analyst for this evening is Dr. Sherelle Africa from the University of the Western Cape. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to you all. Let me start with you, Ms. de Lille. The perception that service delivery in Cape Town and in the Western Cape is in fact different depending on whether you live in the affluent suburbs or whether you are in the townships, Mitchell's Plain, Guguletu, Khayelitsha, and so on. What's the DA's view?
I want to start off by putting that to rest once and for all. South Africa is the most unequal city and society in the world, and that includes Cape Town. But service delivery, local government is the prime site of service delivery. And therefore the DA in the past 5 years has made service delivery priority number 1. The first thing we did was to write off 1.5 billion in arrears. We have for last year spent 1.6 billion rand on services to all the poor people in Cape Town. When we came into power in 2006, there were 227 informal settlements with no services. That's what we inherited from the ANC. We have provided services to all of those areas. But the National Minister of the ANC of Local Government and Traditional Affairs, he did a survey, and they found that Cape Town is the best run metro in the whole of the country. That was supported by EmpowerDex, an independent source. EmpowerDex also supported that. We have spent 400 million rand in Khayelitsha to upgrade the central business district. We have sent 79 million rand on health services in Mitchell's Plain. That is delivery to the poor.
Thank you very much. Let's come to you, Mr. Ehrenreich. You have 90 seconds.
Well, I think what is absolutely clear is that all of the surveys that we quote is probably not of any standing. The surveys that we should apply ourselves to is the DA's own survey. The survey done by Bradell and the survey done by the Customer Satisfaction Survey. Both of those surveys that showed that the DA had failed to deliver to the communities, and the communities are desperately unhappy. The point that I think we do want to make is that the city of Cape Town is the most divided, the most unequal, and the most violent city. And it is that way because of what we're doing with service delivery. We built the cameras on crime in the affluent areas. We build the buses that must transform wealthier people from the city of Cape Town to the airport, and nothing for people who have to transport on metro rail. And so we've done nothing in respect of the poor people. The fundamental crime that we have here, the crime that we have in South Africa, is that the fault line of apartheid, which was our country's original sin, has been perpetuated and deepened by the DA with the way they've shamelessly advanced the interest of wealthy people. And that's what must be undone. And in telling to that, what the ANC comes with a plan to make sure the children of our black mothers has the same opportunities as the children in the townships. Because the distinction in facilities is what denies our children opportunities. So the first point that we'll make, we believe all children should have the same opportunity to be the best that they can be, and that's certainly not an issue that comes up by the DA. But the final point I want to make is the question of, when I am the mayor, I won't take the R1 million salary that Helen Ziller's put in her pocket and that Patricia de Lille is looking out for.
Thank you.
It's about service delivery.
Thank you very much. The Congress of the People, Mr. Crano.
Thank you very much. I must agree that the service delivery to the poor people has definitely not happened in Cape Town. I went to various areas and I'd like to show the people what it's like at Joe Slovo. And if you go to Century City, this I took yesterday. You know, I believe as we are sitting here that there are pink letters being delivered in the poor areas, Mitchell's Plain, and I believe it's for the water that has been cut out. And I mean, surely this is not right. The indigent people, the disabled pensioners, they are really being punished. And it really disappoints me. If I look a bit further, and I look upon I think it's 4.2 billion rand that there's been a municipal bond applied for. And if you take just the interest per day, it is 1.4 million rand. Then I ask, that money that the city has obtained, it's either gone into production that actually delivers income, that I can accept. But if it's going just to pay consumption, then I say it needs COPE to come and reprioritize.
Thank you, Mr. Crano. Mr. Christian, the ACPT's view.
I want to say the following, that I cannot agree with what the DA is saying, because the DA is misleading the people. 4,000 households is currently on the bucket system. 4,000. 20,000 households don't have any sanitation at all. When 2,000 people must march on Freedom Day because they do not have sanitation. It's a myth. It's a myth. Because if you look at the affluent areas, the DA is using 10,000 rand for poop scoops. A disgrace. The city needs a change. The city needs new government. And we can do that. How can you let people do not have any electricity? 86,000 of your people do not have electricity.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. We will, of course, give you time to make more of your points. Well, we are going to take a very short break. Our viewers and listeners at home are most welcome to take part in this debate by sending us your email or SMS. SMS the word elect, followed by your message to 33726. 33726. SMSs cost R1.50 each. Our email address, of course, is elections@sabc.co.za. elections@sabc.co.za. We do, of course, welcome your Facebook comments as well on the SABC's Facebook page. So stay with us.
had you. My mother was always there with wise advice. All her wisdom and experience she passed on to me, allowing me to take care of my baby in the best way possible, just like her mother had done for her. And now, I'm passing that wisdom on to you.
4 generations of mothers have trusted Johnson's baby, and moms always know best.
Is there some kind of sale going on here?
CTM prices, sir. It's not a sale.
Louis, tiles, 35 by 35. Beige with like a desert speckle. What's my price? 54.90. Ding, ding.
Ding, dong. 45.90.
Now we're talking, eh? Yes. Now we are.
CTM. We buy big. You save big.
The following party political advertisement has been paid for by the political party concerned. The views expressed in this advertisement are those of the political party and not those of the SABC.
Sure. Puti, yamvalo uyo timbizayo. It means kakhulu. Ibukukule ngohlobo loba dilala ndinqumile. But once you think of izinto ezenziwa iDA eluntwini ekuhlaleni uvele nje usmile. Okokoko iDA iye yaphatha sinombane eThambo Square. Siyalight eThambo Square. Sinethemba eThambo Square. Okokoko kuthe kwaphatha iDA.
At Pep, our wide range of blankets don't just keep you warm, they bring comfort in fun times, in tough times, in good times, and great times. Get single bed coral fleece blankets at just $69.99. Add some warmth to your home with Pep. Best prices and more.
Welcome to Ireland, boys. In South Africa, we have our favorite supporter beer made with local barley, hops, and golden sunshine.
We're here in Ireland, however, to check out their favorite supporter beer. The hops! The brewery!
The beer.
And what a game, folks. Here's to making friends with the rest of the world.
It all comes together with a castle.
Welcome back, and if you just tuned in, you're watching a special election debate, and the Cape Town mayoral candidates of 4 of the main parties in this month's local elections are taking each other on. Of course, we're coming to you live from the University of Stellenbosch. This debate series brought to you by the SABC in partnership with the University of Johannesburg. You can also follow this debate on SAFM and on sabcnews.com. And before we go to a tape that's going to play us voices of the people of Cape Town who will be talking about how they feel as Cape Townians about tonight's topic. Let me first apologize to our viewers at home. We are not able to use our sign language interpreter this evening because of technical problems, but that person will be back with you next week. We do sincerely apologize for that. Now, is there really a difference in service delivery levels in affluent and poor areas in the Western Cape? Let's hear what Cape Town residents have to say about it.
It's better than other provinces, that's one thing I can say. But it's here in Cape Town City is beautiful. But if you go outside where the locations where people stay, the Cape Nets, it's not that bad. But it's not good either.
Well, I think in general, all facilities are going down. I mean, the first time you're seeing potholes in roads. Before the soccer World Cup, there was loads of works going on, and it just seems as if everything's stopped now, which is quite sad.
At the present moment, I see they're actually doing a good job because they are developing Cape Town, and it looks quite well. Doesn't look bad at all.
I think that the service delivery is becoming better in the CBD. However, I think parking is ridiculous. I paid R9 for it today.
I think doing well, damn sure. So cleaning the road and making sure Cape Town must be clean and shine for all the tourists that used to come here.
The people of Cape Town telling us how they feel about the state of affairs here. Dr. Africa, you heard what those people just said, ordinary people living in Cape Town. But you also heard what the politicians had to say about what their parties are doing or how they feel the ruling party in this part of the world is doing. What is your sense?
Okay, thanks. Let me just say as well that the type of contestation I'm seeing here in the auditorium is also reflective of what happens in the rest of the Western Cape. And the reason for that is that the Western Cape has lower levels of party identification. So people who say they feel loyal to a party, they've got the highest undecided voters. And they've got, it's the province that's the most predictable. So people don't know who they're going to vote for. So that results in the type of contestation that we hear. In terms of service delivery, of course, it's critical, a critical component of local government. But I think local governance is about so much more than the delivery of services. It's about people being able to participate in decisions that affect their lives. And having meaningful involvement. And I think a lot of the frustration that we see, because local government is under stress, local governance is under stress, and a lot of frustration that we see is around lack of accountability, inclusiveness. So in addition to the issues around equity and equity between the areas, we need to keep in mind issues of accountability and inclusiveness and ensuring that all voices are heard when we talk about the problems that affect people and how that can be dealt with.
Right, message there to political parties. Mr. Christians, let me start with you. I mean, in your comments, you say you disagree vehemently with what the DA has to say about its track record in this part of our country. Yet, as far as I can remember, your party has actually been voting with the DA.
That is not... Must I respond?
Yes.
That's right. You must remember the ACDP went with the DA to create a stable government. Nothing else. The people of South Africa, of the city, was important to us. And that's why we went with the DA, to create a stable government. That's all. We are a party of our own. We have our own beliefs. We have a different viewpoint to the DA. Because if we take over, or we are part of the government, we are the party that said we will reprioritize the budget. How can you spend millions on the pavilion and people are still living in sacks?
Thank you, thank you. I mean, that's interesting to hear. Mr. Crano, you also seem to agree with everybody here, other than the DA, obviously, that service delivery seems to be happening in affluent areas, and less so in Mitchell's Plain, in Guguletu, in Nyanga, and so on. Now, let's say after this election, you basically, no party has an outright majority. Who are you going to throw your lot with?
I would expect that these parties would run to me because we are in the middle. We have got a different governance approach entirely of these other parties presently on the stage. It is very, very, very essential that the people must feel part of governing. They are not feeling part of governing. They vote and then they ignore it for 5 years.
No, but the question I'm specifically asking is, Dr. Africa did say that this is a very predictable province, and unpredictable province. But we've seen how things have worked over time. I mean, the ANC did get a majority previously, but then the other parties grouped together and actually formed a coalition. Now, I'm asking you here, are you able to say categorically who COPE will support in the event these two parties need your support? Who would you go for?
I have not entered into any discussions with him. And if I had done that, I could have answered this question, because if they agree that the people must be part of governing, then I will be able to make my decision, because if they say no, politicians are elected and during that 5 years they must govern, then I say there's something very, very wrong. Because the people do not feel part of, they feel neglected. So I must get that answer first.
Thank you very much. Let me come to you, Mr. Aranda. You did, I think it's a good gesture, where you're saying that if you were to be elected mayor, you wouldn't pocket the million or so rents that a mayor gets. But then someone's going to ask, what stops you from asking a lot of your comrades, not necessarily to do that, but to actually lead by example? Because the perceptions people have of corruption, yes, I know we're talking about the Western Cape today, a lot of it stems or the allegations are leveled against your own comrades.
Well, I think the first thing that I need to say is that the question of the salary is an undisputable fact. I will not take the salary because I believe we must act in service of our people. And so what we often see is we see career politicians jumping from one party to the other to secure the salaries. But I want to pose the question about
You're not
service
talking about
delivery.
Mr. Lil here.
I don't know if Mr. Lil has jumped from party to party in pursuit of a paycheck. We'll have to check with her. But the big issue I think we should look out for is that the thing that the DA delivers into Cape Town is open toilets. Open toilets that the court has now confirmed is a violation of people's human rights. They confirm the sense of all Cape Townians, and they confirm the sentiments of the Human Rights Commission. So the DA delivers toilets with no surrounds while it builds fancy bicycle lanes for the wealthy in those areas. What we've got to do is to make sure that we prioritize the needs of those people in our community that are most urgent and respond to that. And to do that, you must have a feeling of your communities. If you've moved out of your suburb where you grew up in, it's because you've been assimilated into that groups often that call the shot now. The madam will call you to stay amongst her people so that you can look out for her people. I stay amongst my people in the township. I'm committed to advancing their interests, and that's the obligations that we have to our people.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lil, let's talk about the toilets.
Yes. Let me first of all say, Vuyo, that under my administration, we will never build open toilets. It should have never happened. Secondly, we will comply with a court order. It is public knowledge that we have for 3 times tried to enclose the toilets, and they were broken down by the ANC Youth League. We will do so again, hopefully with the protection of the court this time, and then we will move on. Let me just come back to some of the other comments. Now, the colleague here from Cope, I don't know who's his leader, but he's already congratulated me. He congratulated me as the mayor. He calls me the mayor, so you've thrown in the towel, the same like the ANC has thrown in the towel.
Did you just call him her mayor?
You called me mayor.
Did you just call her the mayor? Did you just congratulate her as the mayor of Cape Town?
But Vuyo, let me say, I don't want us to take Cape Town back during the days of the ANC, when they failed to provide services to 227 informal settlements. They failed to collect 4 billion rand in taxes. There was corruption. They didn't open the tender system. We cannot take Cape Town back to where it was 5 years ago.
We are going to take a very quick break. To our viewers and listeners at home, thank you for your emails and SMSs. SMS the word elect followed by your message to 33726. 33726 is the number. SMSs cost 150 each. Our email address, elections@sabc.co.za. After the break, we'll take more questions from the audience and more answers from our leaders here. Don't go away.
My mother gave me the best advice on how to take care of my baby. Everything she learned, she passed on to me. And now, I'm passing that knowledge on to my daughter.
Johnson's is specially developed with babies in mind. That's why our baby soap is gentle enough to keep your little one's skin smooth and soft while it's still so sensitive. 4 generations of mothers have trusted Johnson's Baby, and moms always know best.
Waza! Talk on and on with the Nokia 1616 with long battery life and FM radio for only 129.95. Or get chatting on the Nokia 2330 with VGA camera and FM radio for only 349.95 on MTN Pay As You Go. Then join MTN Zone by dialing *141 *4*2# so you can enjoy up to 100% Mahala calls and SMSs. Offers available at these fine stores. Waza!
MTN. Everywhere you go.
Vaseline found someone who needed even-toned skin, even in front of the camera.
I had really dark marks and uneven skin tone. The camera picked up everything. Then I tried this new even-tone lotion from Vaseline for 2 weeks. It's got vitamin B3 and triple sunscreen. My skin's more even-toned.
Check 1, 2, 3. She's looking good. Stand by.
When the country's watching me, I need to look my best.
We're on.
Good evening and welcome to the show.
New Vaseline Healthy Even Tone Lotion. Visibly more even toned skin in 2 weeks.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshine day. Oh. I think I can make it now. The rain has gone. Oh. And all bad feelings have disappeared.
Nescafe Recoffee. Share the fresh percolator taste.
Welcome back to this special election debate. We're coming to you live from the University of Stellenbosch. You can also follow this debate on SAFM and on SABCnews.com. Now, before the break, Mr. Grayno, Ms. DeLille said you had actually congratulated her and had called her Madam Mayor. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, you know, we men candidates with this only red rose amongst us, I felt an element of endearment to say that. I did say that. But if she can't take something in jest, then I'm very disappointed.
Well, it was said in jest. Thank you. Thank you very much for clarifying that. It was said in jest. Now, let's have some questions there from the audience. We do have among us the Mandela Park Backyarders movement. We also have Abahlali Basemjondolo. Can we have a question from each of those organizations, please? Yes. Yes, sir. Please tell us who you are and where you're from, and put your question or make a comment.
Okay, yes, thank you, Vuyo. My name is Loiso Mfuku. I'm from Mandela Park Backyarders. Mandela Park Backyarders. To me, you guys all look the same. None of you should be trusted. But my question specifically, I will direct it to Madame Delilah there. Madame Delilah, in the Western Cape, there is a staggering number of more than 500,000 backyarders. That is a backlog currently. And the city have the capacity to only build 16 to 17,000 houses a year. And this, in addition to this, there is a number of 6,000 to 7,000 people migrating into Cape Town.
Question, please.
Yes. My question is, how realistic is the city's plan to address this challenge?
Thank you very much. We've got it. We've got it.
Yes. I would like to inform Louiso that we've already started the process to register all the backyarders. I was in Hanover Park and I was in Guguletu and Langa 2 weeks ago. Because what we want to do is to provide the backyarders with the basic services while they are waiting to houses for them to be built. And so that we can at least give them basic services while they are waiting. You are right that the backlog is very big. And you are also right that more than 18,000 new households move into Cape Town every year. And Cape Town is not the only city with that problem. Also Johannesburg in Gauteng, because people are seeking economic opportunities. So we will continue to make backyarders a priority for this next 5 years, because we have started already to give them the necessary services that they need.
Thank you.
Housing, we get the money from national government for housing. And then we have doubled housing delivery in Cape Town for the first time. We have doubled housing delivery.
Thank you. I see you itching to say something there, Tony.
Very simple question. The question's a very simple one. What are we going to do about building houses? The answer is we're going to count people. That's not a response to what people need. We need to have a plan that builds houses, that responds to the difficulties and deals with the issues of backyarders.
If that question was put to you, what would you have said?
We would immediately say that what we'll do is take the land that belongs to government in Constantia and build low-cost houses for our people. Because the DA doesn't believe that black people have the right to stay in Constantia. So we'll integrate communities. We'll make sure we break down the divide that exists between Cape Townians and build a city that takes care of the needs of all. The DA has divided the city more than it's ever been by making sure it takes care only of the wealthy's needs. We'll make sure that working families are on the top of the agenda. But when you stay in pylons amongst the Lanis, you forget about what happens to our people.
I just want to say, we don't want to take Cape Town to become like Johannesburg, where the ANC has got a billing crisis, they've got potholes. We don't want Cape Town to become like Buffalo City.
The DA should be careful. The DA members should be really careful. Because tomorrow, the Lily's going to be with another party. And then what will happen to these poor people? The Low will jump to another party tomorrow after the money.
The DA has been here for 5 years. You've been in government for 16 years. Yes, my plan. Yes, our plan.
That's the fundamental issue that we've got to take care of.
He doesn't have a plan.
Right there.
You know, even his own comrades today in the Sunday Independent said they are ashamed of him.
Okay, let's hold it right there.
Support of ANC.
Let's hold it right there. Let's hold it right there. Let's hold it right there.
He doesn't have the ANC support.
But the DA must stop misleading the people. Because Patricia must look at the budget. 2011 and 2012. Take the money away. 37 million they're going to spend on the promenade at Sea Point. They're going to spend 11 million on the city manager's office. They're going to spend 7 million on sports facilities. They must reprioritize that budget. Don't count the people, build houses.
You seem amused by all of this. You seem very amused.
Yeah, I'm very amused because what is needed is a plan. If I become mayor within 24 hours,
we've got a plan.
I will call in the planning division of Cape Town, and I will make sure that every ward is divided into separate streets. And in 2 months' time, I'll see that the water is done. In 3 months' time, an audit I will do to assess the poverty levels. And then after 4 months, I will start creating co-ops, self-help, skill training, etc., etc.
Thank you very much. Dr. Africa, I'm amused, but as a journalist who hasn't really worked in this part of the country over the past few years, I'm finding it difficult to sift between electioneering and rhetoric and actually things that make sense that these politicians can actually deliver on come a time when one of them or one party or all of them form part of some coalition that will run Cape Town.
Look, I don't actually want to get thrown into the squabbles between them. I want to take a step back and say, from the perspective of the voter, you know, we witness election after election, especially in the Western Cape. As I said, because of those reasons, we witness this happening between political parties. And I just wanted to say that I would actually like for reason to prevail because, you know, at the end of it, once the campaign is finished, voters and communities have to deal with the fallout and the damage. Political life carries on. That's the one thing that I wanted to say. The other thing that I wanted to say is I'm always amazed that when you have a natural disaster, how people can just come together across party lines and really work at the complex issue, at whatever it is that's facing them. You know, they put their hands together in the work, and there might be so many differences between the parties, and each has valid points. But I think that there's areas of agreement. And let me say what I think the areas of agreement are. I think that inequity exists. No one will dispute that. That's standing on the stage. I'm a lecturer at the University of the Western Cape, and all I need to do is drive from the southern suburbs to the university, and as I go along, I see Gugulethu on the one side, Menenberg on the other side, and as I drive, the inequity is there. And let me say that it's unsustainable, because we cannot have a situation where people continue to live like that. So I would want to know from all the candidates, what is their contribution going to be to resolve these complex issues where local government is so important, and small parties, whether they get into government or not, have a role to play, because you don't have to be in power to make a difference.
Beyond electioneering, what will political parties do for the benefit of the people of Cape Town and of the Western Cape? Now, before I allow parties to comment or to speak directly to some of the things that Dr. Africa has raised, I'm going to ask Abahlali baseMjondolo to pose their question as well. Very briefly, who you are, where you're from, and your question or comment.
Thank you very much. Good evening. This is Selula Mimzimkulu. I'm coming or representing Abahlali baseMjondolo. I'm simply going to be asking the DA a question, because we work hand in hand with the people from Mandela Park backyarders, that we understand that they built houses for themselves, helping government or meeting government halfway. However, I understand that Umadikizela, the MEC for housing for DA, gone to Mandela Park and demolished the houses there. So my question is, why did he demolish people's houses in Mandela Park? Last question.
I think we got your question.
Thank you.
So our viewers and listeners at home, keep sending us your comments by SMS or email. The word elect is what you punch in, followed by your message to 33726. SMS is cost 150, and our email address elections@sabc.co.za. We'll continue with this debate right after this.
Ngosi sikeleli Africa, maluphakanyisa uphondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. This body sounds a call to come together. and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa,
Are you prepared for the worst? If you or a family member were to pass away right now, is there enough money for the funeral? At Hollard, we get you and cover you and your partner for up to 50,000 Rand for burial expenses. And to make arranging the funeral easier, we now offer you access to a car. You also have the option of your family receiving up to 1,200 Rand a month for a year after the funeral. Lastly, we offer you up to 10,000 Rand to erect a tombstone as a remembrance. SMS your name or send a please call me to 082-936-7777. That's 082-936-7777.
Elections are the lifeblood of our communities. That is why the SABC is bringing you specialized programming to keep you updated on South Africa's local government elections. With 3 television and 18 radio stations, the SABC ensures that you have everything you need to stay informed about the most important mark you can make. View relevant discussions on the Election Debate Show, Sundays at 6:30 on SABC1, and get all the information on the run-up to the elections with the pre-election show, Monday to Thursday on SABC2. The 2011 local government election, brought to you live and clear by the SABC.
It's your uncle's special price deal. Get this Defy Twin Tub, or this Hisense fridge, or this Endlo Saturn double base set for just $1,999 each. It's for one day only, but hurry, stocks are limited. Now that's a real deal you shouldn't miss. Available from Joshua Door.
You've got an uncle in the furniture business, Joshua Door.
Get tested for TB, whether you're HIV positive or negative. Remember, TB is curable, no matter what your HIV status.
we need TV.
Hello, sunshine. Hello, birds. Hello, trees. Hello, on bricks. Ah, just peachy.
For trustworthy motor, home and buildings insurance, SMS TRUST to 38910 and we'll call you.
Welcome back. This is a special mayoral debate. We're coming to you live from the University of Stellenbosch, and you can also follow this debate on SAFM and on sabcnews.com. Now, before I ask Ms. Delil to respond to what Abahlali Basemjondolo were raising there, I see Tony wanted to, I saw you were itching to say something there.
I think the question of inequalities in the city of Cape Town is the most important question.
Which is what Dr. Africa was raising.
And that question, I feel, has been exacerbated by the DA in the last 5 years. What we must do is we must build a city that's a home for all of our people. A city that stops black people feeling uncomfortable when they go into the city center because of the attitude. But most importantly, we must build a city that provides opportunity and prosperity for everyone. And the way I propose to do that is to make sure that children that come from the townships have the same opportunity like children in the city centres in Stellenbosch or in the shadows of Table Mountain in Cape Town. We've got to give all our kids the opportunity to be the best that they can be and realize their potential, and that's the way we start rebuilding the city, because the city needs to go in a new direction that breaks down the divisions that the DA has caused and forms a partnership between rich and poor, black and white, that provides new hope, new prosperity, and a new direction for all of our people, and that's what I propose.
Thank you very much. Mr. Christians, you wanted to say something there?
You know, I know of people, I walk the streets and I know of people that stay in the backyards for 26 years in Manenberg. How important is that livelihood for that person? Now I'm looking at the sub-council, a rich, affluent sub-council. They spend 240,000 on landscaping, 10,000 on poop scoops. Weed spraying, a contract of 200,000. How can that be? I'm asking for the DA to re-privatize the budget and spend it on the poor where it must be spent.
Thank you very much. Mr. Crano?
The total and pathetic lack of decent delivery, decent dwellings, and decent existence, as our incumbent President Terror Lokota witnessed at Hermanus, is really something that he wishes to rectify, because he didn't go to prison for nothing. And I call upon everyone to give Terror Lokota an opportunity by voting on the 18th of May to give him a chance.
Thank you very much. Give the Pope a chance. Mr. Lil, do you want to respond to what Abahlali Basemjondolo raised about housing in the Western Cape?
Yes. In terms of the houses in Mandela Park, the beneficiaries of that land where government is supposed to build houses, they have gone to court to seek an order to remove the people that have built illegally on that land. I know that there is now a court settlement whereby the people who have moved onto that land illegally are prepared to move off so that the city can build further houses there. So that is before the courts now. But I want to address the issue of inequality, because as either people don't understand our history, or they were too young, they were still in nappies. But South Africa,
you're not talking about him.
Yeah, still in nappies. South Africa is the most unequal society in the world, William, and has become the most unequal society in the world in the past 16 years. The DA has only been in government in the ANC and Cape Town for 5 years. The ANC has been in government for 16 years in the rest of the country, and they can't even solve inequality. In fact, the country has become more unequal over the past 16 years under ANC rule.
Thank you very much. Now, just before, let me just read you some of the emails that have come through. One says, well, service delivery is bad in the Western Cape, but the DA is trying its best, and I believe that change takes time. The ANC is not better either. The parties just need to work hand in hand. This is Babalo Mdana from Guguletu. And then Dennis Nemavola says, I will only vote for a party that will deliver first and make promises later. Regards. And then let's take Kane Ndwandwe, who says, I think it's about time the political parties stop using people's poverty in order to gain power. I have seen some adverts that exploit, especially Africans. They claim their parties help them with electricity, but people live in shacks. For me, it doesn't make sense at all. Kane Ndwandwe. Now, I'm going to ask each of the political parties here to make your concluding remarks. I'm going to give you 30 seconds each, and I'm going to be strict this time. Let me start with you, Mr. Christians, from the ACDP.
The ACDP is a Christian party that has a vision for a strong and healthy and prosperous city. We are the third biggest party in the city. And we will be the kingmakers again in the city. I want to tell you, we have a track record. We have a track record. We will deliver. We will reprioritize the budget.
Thank you,
to
Mr.
shift it
Christian.
from the affluent to the poor areas.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. Mr. Crano.
Cope would very much like the voters to assist themselves by assisting the eradication of corruption like they have done. To let the voters realize the power that they have in their vote and to join governing.
Thank you.
Cope, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crano.
Yes. The DA's got a track record of service delivery to the poor, and we will continue to deliver services to the poor and deliver a better life for all the people of Cape Town. I have always fought for poor people in my life. But when I become mayor, I will be a mayor for all the people of Cape Town.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hammond,
I think if anything, then the Macassar court case has exposed to the entire country how the DA delivers to the wealthy and doesn't deliver to the poor. Open toilets is not only a human rights violation, but it's a travesty of justice. When I take over the administration on the 19th of May, I'll be a mayor for everyone, but I'll be a special friend to the poor, because what we've got to do as the ANC is undo the inequalities that the DA's brought about in the last 5 years, and that's our pledge to the electorate.
Thank you very much. Dr. Africa, your closing comments, please.
Okay. I think from party side, they need to ensure meaningful engagement and ensure that the voices of all are heard. They must ensure that the councillors are accountable and information needs to be more accessible. But from the voters' side, we need a more assertive citizenry. Let me just say clearly, I think that people should come out and vote. I respect the right to abstain, but a shrinking turnout limits prospects for accountability. If there's a vote of 100, let's just say, and only 20 come out and vote, the incentive for the politician is to meet the needs of the 20. And in local government elections, we've had very low turnout. And I would like to say that people should come out and vote. And then just finally, whoever is here, very articulate, strong, my challenge would be that I leave you with, whoever becomes your mayoral committee members, send them on a walkabout to the areas that you're talking, using public transport. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Well, it was a good debate. I so wish that we had more time, but unfortunately we don't have. I'm afraid that's where we're going to leave it this evening. Goodbye.